Alright, let's talk about consumer debts. So many people seem to have other consumer debt facilities. That can be things like personal loans, vehicle loans, Afterpay, credit card limits, overdraft limits, the list goes on. All of these individual facilities can have quite a big impact on how much you can borrow for your home loan. When we sit down together, I'll show you how much impact each individual one has. And if you have more than one, collectively it can make quite a big difference. And whether or not it may or may not be needed to remove that as part of the home loan process. Having one or more of these facilities in place right now does not mean that you can't get a home loan. It may just mean that we need to tweak things to get you across the line with the banks. As a really rough example, having a credit card with a $10,000 limit, that can have the equivalent of $50,000 on the home loan. So it's not a dollar for dollar impact. The consumer debt has far more impact than the home loan. So that's why sometimes we need to tweak things to get the home loan number to work. If it's something like a personal loan, you may have enough cash available to pay that off and make the home loan number work. But you may not have enough cash to make that work, or using your cash to pay off the personal loan may actually be detrimental to your application because it might mean that you don't have enough deposit for the house. So I'll work through that with you and show you the various scenarios. Student loans are a little bit different. They do have an impact on how much you can borrow for the home loan, but if you have quite a big student loan, it's usually not worth it paying off the student loan to increase the home loan amount. If you do have quite a small student loan balance, it can actually make quite a big difference on what you can borrow, and the amount of capital you need to pay it off isn't significant, and so therefore it is worth it. If you need to pay one of these consumer debts off before we submit the application to the bank, I'll let you know if that's the case. But usually we can do this as a condition of approval, and that's done later in the process. If you have more than one consumer debt, say you have a couple of personal loans and you need to pay one of these off, let's talk about that together. But generally you want to pay off the one that has the highest repayments because that's having the biggest impact on your home loan. Last point on this is, while we're going through this home loan application process or preparing for it, do not take out any more personal loans or any other consumer debts, because they do have an impact on how much you can borrow for the house, and we want to maximize that while we're going through this process.